Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I'm late, but the video is here. The format's a little different. I use like a screen recording thing, and for some reason my voice sounds weird, so sorry about that. But we got two videos today, so enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys tonight after the Rockets game. Peace. Alright guys, welcome back to more Ignorance in Basketball. Now I know I'm late, but as a cult leader, I had two options. One, be emotional, aka a bitch, don't make the video, or two, come through in the clutch, post two videos in a day because I'm about that life, and just be a fucking proper cult leader. So we're picking option number two. Now, a couple things before I really break down every fucking play of this game like a bit of a psychopath. Obviously, the Suns were tired. I mean, if you're the Clippers, this is the best case scenario you can get a healthy Suns team, quote unquote. Because obviously it's a back-to-back on the road. It's not even a fucking back-to-back at home. And they just played an overtime game against the number one seed in the NBA. And and it's the playoffs are around the corner, so the coach is trying to keep everybody's minutes down. So it's like, the Clippers couldn't have had a better fucking situation besides like somebody getting ejected or some shit. Which the Clippers did have two ejections, which is hilarious. It's like, why are you bitching when you're winning? But, whatever. A couple good things I want to point out. One thing I think we've all been looking for or wondering is how Ayton is going to perform in the playoffs, right? Obviously, he's never been in the playoffs. We haven't seen him in any major, like, high pressure situations. And we know a lot of the times he seem, I don't know, maybe disinterested, or maybe we just see how young he is. And the fact that he's been able to perform well in this game and the Jazz game tells me a lot. I mean, he had 18 points, 10 boards, and 3 assists, and he was efficient. His defense was pretty good. He didn't get into foul trouble. Like, I'm not even going to say this is what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting him to average 18 points in any playoff series. But if he can keep anywhere near this up, I feel good about the Suns' chances. I really do. But I think that is long enough of a fucking intro. Let's get into this game.
Up front, you've got JLA Clippers. And they, of course, go with
also, I just have to say, Paul George, I still don't like your fucking little boy hairstyle. You look stupid. And Patrick Beverly looks like a knockoff Travis Scott. Not my joke, one of my friends.
24-second shot clock.
It's just so accurate I had to share.
Now it's 7 as you
see, like, this is a good thing. I don't mind them. I don't mind a DeAndre Ayton face-up. As long as, like, we're not trying to have him post up every fucking other play and there's a bunch of people in the paint and we know he's just going to drop it or get stripped every play. Like, we've been through that phase. That shit is terrible. But lobs and face-ups, I'm not mad at, because his mid-range jumper is lethal. Not even mid-range, like really close. I'm not mad at it. Not too mad at that. Like, this is what I want to see from Chris Paul in the playoffs. Going for his shot early, especially when guys don't have it going, and that is my really biggest flaw with this guy.
Back into Zubac as he's coming off that long injury to his knees.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking, right? Why the fuck are you so concerned about a Patrick Beverly pick and roll? Okay? This man runs pick and rolls like a goddamn civilian. Don't leave the most lethal scorer on the damn team who's wide open for a three. That's the type of shit that lets me know that this team is just tired. Because obviously Paul George went the fuck off. He was 7 for 9 from 3. 7 for 9. What the fuck? And it was because of plays like this. And I can confidently say, and this is without emotions, or, well, without that much emotion, I really think the Suns could beat the Clippers. I know they lost to them twice. One was kind of early. They were still trying to figure shit out. And then obviously the other day. But this is how I see it, right? In my cult leader head. The Suns were at about as big of a disadvantage as humanly possible, right? The Clippers could they have shot better from the fucking three? I mean, they shot 50%. The Suns shot 25% and were exhausted and it was on the road and they only lost by 10. Like, that is good. in my eyes. Like, that says a lot.
Really kicks it outside. And
Really collapsing the defense on that drive. Finding PG for the wide open
See what I
three.
mean? That's all day.
Chris Paul, who played 43.
Say it again. Wow.
High screen
Not mad
by
at that.
Zubac.
I'm not mad at a fucking somewhat contested Paul George mid-range shot. I'm not mad at that at all.
George with
As long as this team, and I mean the Suns, obviously I don't give a fuck about the Clippers. As long as the Suns can close out, which obviously I think we can all agree they can do, I'm not worried.
Beverly, who brings the great defense. A lot of
And
energy.
fucking
Shot
right
clock at
by,
5.
looking stupid, and there it is.
Great fake by Booker. Paul George.
Like, look at that. That's just laziness.
Marcus Morris out by Chris Paul. Shot clock down to 9. The Clippers so far have gone 6 of 10.
Not worried about that.
George again on Nando. In the game for the first time, Cam Johnson has come in for the Phoenix Suns. Here trying to gear his way inside.
Not worried
and
about
find-
that. Yeah, also the ball movement
We're
wasn't
having some
great.
technical problems
I know they were switching a lot, but I think that's another
with
flaw.
Reggie right now. We'll try to fix it in others. Patterson taking the place of Zubats.
Rondo was good today, too. This is
Booker
annoying.
watches the driving. There's a big put fans on that one. Here comes Payne the other way for the Phoenix Suns.
I gotta say, I was extremely proud, still feels weird to say, of Cameron Payne the other night. He was great. He was really aggressive. He was playing good defense. He was doing his thing. I think he had a way better game than Chris Paul.
George with the screen. Mismatch on Pat. And gets it
Hell,
out to
maybe even
Patterson.
Booker, too.
Rondo picked up now by Saric. That's a mismatch for him. 2 to fire. Away it goes.
Penetration and making timely passes. So we got to make sure we take into account for what he does and how he.
This is something I gotta bring up again. Saric, not muy bien tonight, or the other night. He was not great at all. At all. And again, it's like I said in my last video. When Chris Paul is leading that bench unit, he goes to Saric too much, I think. If Saric is not getting it going, is not having it that day, what? If Saric doesn't have it that day, Chris Paul needs to be more aggressive, but he's just not. I don't know why. I think, again, or at least I hope, he's not going to do the same thing in the playoffs because we've all seen Saric has been kind of up and down this season. Mostly up. Definitely mostly up. But if he's not having a good game, it's really hard for this team to win. Depending on how much, obviously Monty goes with the bench. I think he went with it a little more than we'll see in the playoffs. Like, I really think that Utah game was a perfect example of the kind of lineups and the kind of minutes, obviously without the overtime shit, we're going to see in the playoffs. This one, not so much. Because, second game of a back-to-back, Chris Paul is 57 years old. You guys get it.
He affects the game.
Corner by Paul George. Now 4 of 6.
Okay, I know I just paused it, but how do we feel about the Javon Carter minutes? As a cult, how do we feel about it? I'm honestly a little bit confused. A little bit confused. Because one, you already have Chris Paul who is 5'7", and then you have another guard who's super small that can't create his own shot, isn't a great passer, great defender, not a great shooter or scorer or anything like that. So it's like, why not just have a 3 out there? Why not just have like a Torrey Craig or a Crowder or somebody like that instead of, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Or more. Like, a game like this, especially, is when you would need a Moore or a Galloway. Somebody that can just get instant, especially Galloway. Nobody's fucking hitting, and you have your maybe most explosive scorer off the bench, and you're not going to play him at all, but you're going to play Carter. Like, I just don't get that shit.
Now a long shot by, he's got Carter on him, and Carter a terrific defensive player.
That he is.
It's Batum for 2. Over down low, George, Jackson, Rondo, Batum, and Patterson out there.
Like, look at that. That's just laziness.
LA Clippers, George, 3, book it.
Up off the ground, you fucking pussy.
Corner, getting to the 50-50 balls, that has helped them so far.
Great pass,
In the
love the
corner,
confidence,
Carter,
knockdown's a
3,
beautiful
closed
thing.
by Patterson.
Basketball point guard savants between CP3
Cam
and
Johnson
Rondo.
had a good game.
Cam
He showed
Johnson.
up.
Ayton gets the assist. This is the #1 assist team in the league. That's only
Oh,
the
they are
third
number
of the
one.
night. Driving off the
50%,
Okay,
53
Reggie
for the
Jackson. Reggie Jackson, I'm sorry, but has got to be one of the ugliest basketball players I've ever seen in my life. And hey. I'm only saying it because it's true, okay?
Clippers, 54% for the Suns.
Laziness.
Wow.
in the
They're
corner.
just not closing out. That's just tired legs.
A shot. Here comes Ayton.
Like,
Played 41 minutes.
shit
last
like
night.
that. You see how he kind of spun there? That's when I get nervous about Aiden. He could have spun, could have got ripped. See, that's when it get dangerous. He got the assist, but those are the plays I'm not in love with. I'm going to be real.
Tries to spin inside. Good
And
find.
it looks like a lot of those drives, he's getting back to that smooth, herky-jerky motion. Nice.
On a scoring tear.
Also, it was
Played
good to
so
see
well.
Bridges score 20.
Warren's on
Like,
top.
look at that.
Bridges
That's
is
just
on
lazy.
George, 3 points.
It was
only
good to see
player
Bridges
double
have
figures.
a
And
bounce
boy,
back
has he
game
got it in the
after not
crosshairs
scoring
this
against the
evening.
Jazz.
Jay Crowder. It's Kawhi
Really
Leonard.
good.
3
Oh,
straight.
yeah. Payne, I think he also had like 2 steals on Kawhi, so. Man, I know it's a loss, but he gets the game, but I don't give a fuck.
Double doubles for him. Pickpocketed right there. Nice defense by Payne. Here they go with
Suns
Bridges.
team, they got this hybrid
Relax,
veterans mixed with these youths that can just get out and
It's
finish.
like, man, I don't give a fuck. I am not worried about a Patrick Beverly floater. Give him that. Stay on the big man, give him the floater, and stay on these damn 3-point shooters. Now, if I can see this, I know this Suns team can, so. Not worried. Clippers fans, if you're still watching this, please, politely, fuck off.
Finish in the open court.
Leonard's the ball. Now goes back to Devin Booker. Booker makes a move.
Patrick Beverly is just looking so stupid in this game. I'm sorry.
It's into Beverly. Counting it. Really shot well. Hitting threes.
Beautiful.
Maneuvering here. Slashing to the rack.
He can do that whenever he wants. That's why I'm like, dude, be more aggressive. He was excellent.
Watching it.
that
Here comes Kawhi.
Muy bien.
Trying to chisel. Outside.
That's what I
Marcus
wanna see in the
Morris.
playoffs.
He makes a slick move in there.
Not worried
against the
about that
rubber ball.
shit.
We have 2 teams
Disrespect
tonight that
match.
are in the
There you
offensive
go.
and defensive top
Do that about twice as much.
10. Nice
65%, Kevin. 65%.
shot.
Damn,
50
get
in the
big,
first
bitch.
quarter.
Get up off the ground, bro. You're looking straight silly.
Bumped by Booker. Nope.
No, there's no
Crowder
push
now
off. You're
trying
just
to
too small.
clear the
dude.
cobwebs. Kawhi.
That's contested.
with
I'm not worried
5,
about that. That's gonna
3.
happen.
Good.
When you
down
play
by
against
2,
good ass
Kevin.
players, shit like that's just gonna happen. That's gonna
Here goes
happen.
Kawhi Leonard
They're-
putting up.
Also, I'm guessing they're gonna ISO for Booker a lot, depending on the team. It's like with that starting 5, he's probably the weakest defender, right? Yeah, he is. Or at least perimeter. Maybe 8, I don't know, it depends, but depends on where you're at on the court, obviously. But I could see like Kawhi and Paul George doing that a decent amount. But I mean, Booker's not big and he's not super athletic or anything, but at least he's fucking trying. You know, he's not like he's James Harden who just doesn't give a fuck.
The shot. Just tries to save it and does. And Kawhi
Good steal.
spoon-feeding Zubats.
Ball movement
and
again.
torn away.
And you got
Here
Booker
comes
to
Booker
finish
the other
off.
way.
I hate that
into
camera angle. It
Down
looks
here. Reggie,
fucking
you were
weird.
rattling off all the different players that have so far.
ISO, you're too
Gone
slow,
at the
and
defense.
Aiden finishes beautiful.
and has 30-plus.
Notice when they're playing like this, they're winning. When they're moving the ball, when Booker's penetrating and kicking
points,
out,
4 straight games, scoring well again tonight.
I think the
Across the
defensive
lane, Beverly
intensity is a
Booker
little bit better.
tailing him.
That was a good off-ball screen by fucking Travis Scott over here, I'm not gonna lie.
3, George got with Morris.
Still ain't shit, though.
Little blitz on the wing.
Beautiful.
Bridges inside, Ayton try. He's now 5 of 10 shooting. Bulldozing his way
Not
inside,
mad at that.
George.
Aiden could have
Zubats
hustled a
will
little
flush
bit to
since
try to contest that, but
early
shit like
March.
that's gonna happen.
In the wake of the Lou Williams trade, they go inside to
Again.
Ayton.
We kind of want you to dunk that, Aiden, I'm not gonna lie. We want you to dunk that.
Oh, he got it away. The deep
Braden. Everyone starting to find the big man down low on their drives.
That one, reasonable.
by George.
Defense
He's
was
got
okay.
4. Wise
See, like, look how wide the fuck open everybody is. I really think they just got tired legs. I know Kawhi Leonard's gonna get some attention, but like, damn, not that much.
through traffic. wide open three.
And Morris was fucking wide open too if you wanted to kick that out. They just look tired.
Jackson.
Kawhi.
They're like, we just gave it our fucking all last night. Damn, and you're gonna do this to us?
And PG.
Aiden there to block off the drive by Jackson.
Again, he just looked kind of tired even on that play. And that wasn't even a fucking and one because he hit the ball out of his hands, but you know we're gonna get hoed with the refs. We all know it. Come on.
Here comes Leonard right through and hammer.
Oh
Here's
my
Booker.
God, bro, that's
Stops on a
embarrassing.
dime,
Lucky
backpedals
he
over
missed.
the three-point line. Push.
That's
They
not
are
bad. That's what I'm saying. Like Aiden he can score on anybody on this team, and that is a beautiful thing.
leading a Phoenix team in the second of a back-to-back.
Now we can briefly talk about this dunk.
A huge
I mean, we can briefly talk about it. I feel like I have to be somewhat impartial. Decent dunk. Not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I thought he threw it down so hard I thought he got blocked. And I was like, why? I was like, oh shit. Why is the Clipper bench so excited he got blocked? And then they replayed it, and I was like, oh, he just dunked on two people. Got it. Okay, for sure.
huge two-game. Oh my goodness! What a play by Kawhi!
Not that bad. If Aiden had gone like straight up and he got dunked on, that would have been bad. But he was kind of like, jumping to the left. It's not that big of a deal.
In. They've also brought in Cam Johnson. The Suns have.
Like, see, that's what happens when you have Sarge in and not a real rim protector. Just saying, you got no chance.
Final 4 minutes.
At guarding
Rebound
a player
by
like that.
Saric. And off to Cameron Payne. Here comes
Get big, bitch.
Bridges off the wing.
Oops.
Dancing right now, poking his way into the defensive charge.
Like, look at that. That's just luck. That's just luck. Shit like that is gonna happen though when you got two really good players on a team.
Long shot in. Rebound by Booker. He'll steer his way down the middle into Batum and to the hole. Got it to go.
And I think in the third quarter we made a conscious effort just making the right play and the right pass.
Bro, Ty Lue, disrespect meant. Nobody gives a fuck about what you have to say. I'm sorry.
But they're gonna load up
I'm
on
sorry to
defense
be the
while
one to tell you
we got
this.
the basketball because we got
Great
good shooters.
fucking
The
help
defense
defense.
can't get it to go. Batum's got it. Now it's out to Rondo. Batum in stride. Over Saric. Up and did any
Not a great
shots.
game.
Except for two at the line.
It's like, I can't wait until Aiden and Sarge have a good game on the same day. I don't know if that's ever happened. I feel like they fucking take turns.
George. Patrick Patterson. Crowder is in. Takes the place of Torrey
Yeah,
Craig.
and then at this point, it just seemed like they just couldn't really
Good
you know,
screen
make
by
a run.
Patterson. Wide open.
They were trying to get Rondo to shoot threes, but he was hitting them. It was just kind of tough to dig themselves out of that hole.
Good screen by Patterson.
Especially when you're
Look at
shooting fucking 25% from three and the other team is shooting 50.
Why take it in? The escape hatch was there.
And
but he
you're
couldn't
turning the ball
find
over a decent
The
amount.
finish.
And
And
here
the other
was
way,
the
George
ejection
down.
from
Foul,
T. Scott.
Beverly.
Very unnecessary.
Things are starting to
Very ignorant, some might say. And I don't mean that in a cool way. I mean that in a sad way.
get a little chippy here, Kevin.
Beverly comes in
All right,
and
I don't need
brings
to
his
see this 3
Crowder
times.
with 8. Rondo is in, taking the place of the just ejected
Let's catch.
Beverly. 15 starters all out there for Phoenix.
Paul
Here
George
comes
is
George.
just
He's
fucking
got
hitting it
25.
today. I can't even lie.
He's defending.
I don't like him, and he does have a child's hairstyle, and I will say that until he changes it.
by
But
Booker.
he played well.
Rondo. George.
He was very clutch.
Leonard has got 22.
Not much you can do about that. Like I said, that's why I'm saying I don't like the ISO shit, which they didn't really do. I mean, it's not like they had a big lead and kind of fucked it up. Like other teams where they just don't give a shit. But to beat a team like this that has 2 fucking players that can just get buckets whenever, you have to play like a team. Like Cam Johnson's gonna have to hit some big shots. Crowder, Ayton, obviously with his putbacks and defense help a lot. It's not just gonna be a Chris Paul and Devin Booker thing. Like, there's going to have to be a series where you're like, damn, Mikal Bridges averaged 17 points that series. Like, that's how they're going to beat the Lakers and the Clippers and the Nets. Like, that's what's going to have to happen.
George. Batum. Here's a 3 by Paul George. It's 6.
I swear, this is still painful to watch.
7-2 run here by
Like, that was great defense. He just hit that one. I think he was just hot. He was already in rhythm.
the Clippers after
I think
the
that was
ejection.
hopefully
That
his
is
last shot. I don't want to see
rebound.
him
It's
anymore,
clutched
but I have
onto by
to.
Chris Paul.
But
Out to Booker.
see, like,
He's got 19
that's what
in the
they
corner.
need.
Bridges to
Shit like
11-point
that.
game.
There wasn't a
Clippers
whole lot
by
of that
as
this
many
game.
as 14. 3.5 to play. The drive
Should have stepped up.
here by Ross. You're right. This is the number one three-point shooting team in the NBA. Inside the claw. Got it. Lasso.
Great block.
Point. Shot
Great
clock
hustle.
is at 5
See, they're just
around
trying to
the
give it to
horn.
Rondo. Rondo's like, all
Paul
right.
defending
And he just hit
Rondo.
him. Lucky, because he doesn't shoot for shit. But in the playoffs, I don't know what happens. I don't know if this motherfucker takes a pill, if he does some sort of chant. I don't know what it is, but he is just better. He can shoot in the playoffs. He can in the regular season, but in the playoffs, for some reason, he can. It's weird,
Got it.
but it's
What a
accurate.
shot.
He'll have at least he'll maybe have 2-3 games in a series where he shoots 40-50% from three.
Yes,
It's
Putting that
ridiculous.
pressure on him.
he did. Clippers coming in and won 10 of 14 games.
And the game was
Arizona
over at this
15.
point. I think we get it. So yeah, they got the deep bench in. So that's it, guys. That's it. That was the game. Again, the Suns were tired. They were clearly tired. They lost their legs in the third quarter. It was a tough game. This was about as tough as it could have. It was about as tough as it possibly could have been with them being healthy. Relatively speaking, obviously, I think Nader's still a little banged up. I saw Kaminsky's, going through COVID shit. So, I don't know how different that lineup would have been if they were 100% healthy, but, they were pretty fucking healthy. So let's just go over the individual stats because we got to give some shout outs. Bridges, 20 points, 5 boards, 1 assist in 36 minutes. I don't think his defense was great, but at least he was scoring. Now, Crowder, 0 points. How often is that going to happen? Not very often. 4 assists, 3 boards. Now, one thing I will say is when a player has to guard somebody like a Kawhi or like a Paul George or like a Steph, their numbers are probably not going to be great. So I'm not going to say if the Suns and Clippers played in a series, Crowder would average 0 points, but this doesn't shock me because his main assignment was Kawhi. And, because he's undersized and everything, I'm sure it's a lot tougher. Kawhi's a very physical player, so that doesn't shock me. Honestly, I'm not even that mad at that. 8 and 18 points, 10 boards, 3 assists, like I said. Booker, 24 points, 3 and 3. Chris Paul only had 13 points. That's what I'm talking about. In a game like this, you got to have at least 20 to win, I think. Unless, just fucking Crowder just goes off and, the shooters just go off, which clearly did not happen today. Cameron Johnson, 6 points. He had 2 big threes. Not mad at it. 3 boards, 2 assists. He played pretty good defense. Torrey Craig, 4 points in 16 minutes. Payne, so I'm talking about 9 points, 2 assists, 2 boards in 16 minutes. Then we got Saric, 2 points, 1 board. That's it. And bad defense. Why this team has not gotten a rim protector, I will never understand for the life of me. And then lastly, we got Crowder, 5 points, 5 minutes. Actually played pretty good. So maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then just in case, because I've made this video so many times, I don't even fucking remember what I have and haven't said. Suns shot 50% from the field. I'll round up. 51% from the field. 25% from 3. That was the game. 83% from free throw. And they also had 4 more turnovers. They did have 6 steals. They had 6 blocks. And they only had 20 assists. But they had 54 points in the paint against the Clippers 38. And they got to the free throw line 30 times against the 12 that the Clippers got to. So that's why the game was close. And I think it's possible for them to do at least something like that. Again, I don't think they're going to outscore them by 20 points in the paint every game. But they could. Because there's no reason this Clipper team couldn't have outscored them. Like I said, the Suns were fucking exhausted, but they still found a way to score, which is muy bien. So again, I know I'm late. Another video today. The Suns play the Rockets, right? The fucking Rockets are garbage. We know that. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later today. Peace.